Jamal Murray flew over his rebounds and assist total last game, and I think he's going to do it again against the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm Andy from WagerTalk.com. Welcome to the Road to Millions. We're going to go over some props and lazy lines, but let's go over Jamal Murray and what's going on here and why we're focusing in on this rebounds and assist category. Okay, so let's just take a look at the last 10 games here for Jamal Murray. And you see, he's not going over this 11.5 total quite a bit. He flew over against Lakers. He had 16, but 10, 9, 10, 6, 9, 10, 15. So this is not a great sample size, 3 out of the last 10. But let's take a look at what's going on when he faces the Lakers, and in particular, the last 3 games, 16, 17, and 18. So not only going over, but absolutely obliterating this total. So I wanted to try and figure out what's going on here. And there's something I want to look at from the first game of the series. So I have a bet on the Denver Nuggets minus 1.5 games. I thought they would really go all in on the first few games of the series because they're going to have a tough matchup in the second round. So why screw around with the Lakers? This is not a series you can mess around with. You don't want to give LeBron and Anthony Davis and that team a lot of confidence. So I figured they would come out strong, try and end this thing as quick as possible so they don't get it dragged into a very long series. So look at the minutes here on the starters on both sides. Lakers, 45 for Davis, 41 for LeBron, 41 for Russell, 37 for Reeves. And then we see the same thing going on with the Nuggets. I mean, KCP played 37. Jamal Murray was at 39. So was Jokic. Porter at 38. Gordon at 32. And when we look at Jamal Murray's stats, he played 39 minutes, but, he didn't even come close to this in April. 21, 27, 27, 29, 24. So if you're playing 39 minutes as compared to this 25.8 minutes that he averaged in April, of course you're going to have a lot more rebounds and assists. That's just, nature of the beast here. So when we go through Jamal Murray's game log, let's take a look at when he played a lot of minutes here. So we go down here against Toronto. He played 39 minutes, had 17 rebounds and assists. Against Phoenix in overtime, he had played 42 minutes, had 9 assists and 7 rebounds. He played 37 minutes against Boston. He had 14 rebounds and assists. Now here against Utah, he played 37 and he only had 10, but he's still pretty close there. And against the Lakers in the regular season in March, he did play 38 minutes, and this is where he had 17 rebounds and assists. We can go down even further, and he played 36 minutes in February against the Lakers, and look, this is where we get 18. So this is a Jamal Murray that it looks like he's completely healthy, looks like he's going to be playing a ton of minutes, especially if the game is close, which this game was close. The first quarter, the Lakers end up with the lead, Denver fights back, so this was not a game where Denver could rest starters. And then the interesting thing is they're going to have a little bit of a break after this game. They're not going to play for a few days. So this is a game that if you're going to play your starters a lot of minutes, this is like fire away. So I think Jamal Murray is going to have a pretty big minutes total here at the end of this game. A lot of minutes equals a lot of opportunity for production. So when we look at this last 10 games for Jamal Murray, I think it's a little bit deceiving because it's not taking into account how many minutes he played. And we've seen the last 3 games, he's flown over this total mostly because of the minutes that he's gotten. So I went back and looked at last year's sweep. Jamal Murray went 2 games over, 2 games under this total. But again, there was he wasn't playing that many minutes. So I think we see a big minute total. I think Jamal Murray goes over this 11.5 rebounds and assists. Denver just doesn't have a big time bench to come in. So that's going to be Jamal Murray is going to be a nice little free play of the day. So all right, guys, let's get into some more props. Huge week of props games in NHL and NBA, so I'm hoping to do a Road to Millions video every day so we can kind of get ready for all of these props. So I'll start in the NHL. And while we're doing this, if you guys could hit the like button, leave me a comment below. Tell me what props you're liking. For all access clients, it's a weird week because there's the Zurich Classic Golf Tournament, which we don't have any plays in. There's no PFL, so obviously no plays there. It's a weak UFC card, but we are going to have a big play in that. So we're going to look to do our damage this week in player props. Tons of NBA and NHL games every night. And we've got a pack that is already up. I believe there's 4 plays. I'm probably going to put that Jamal Murray play in there. So we're looking at 5 official client plays for tonight just in the props market. So for all access clients, that's what we're looking at here. So let's jump to NHL here real quick. We can do some shots on goal. I love these 1.5 totals. You guys know I love, if I'm playing over on shots on goal, it has to take a lot for me to get to play something over 1.5. So, we look at some of these guys that are at 1.5. Ekholm for Edmonton, he's at minus 180. Marchman is minus 150 go over, but he's hitting it a ton. Just make sure if you guys are playing these shots on goal that you're playing them every game. Just make sure if you play it, it loses once, don't go away from it. Come right back to it. So, who are some guys that are not doing well? Shots on goal. This is a weird one. Dreisaitl's not going over. What? Oh, it's only 2.5. So I guess he must just be getting his assists, and I don't know. But that's a strange one for me. Draisaitl is not going over it. It is only 2.5. So let's see. We'll go back to shots on goal here real quick and see if there's anybody else that's really struggling. Let's see. I guess Pedersen on Vancouver. He's not doing well. Did he go over against Nashville? No, he only had 2. So that could be one if you're looking to fade. But I know everyone wants to take over on shots on goal. So who's on the longest streak? It is Ekholm. Marchment, Lindholm, and Lundell are right behind him. This Lundell one could be an interesting one. Did not go over against Tampa, but he did have 1. So you would think he'd get over one more time. So, all right, let's take a look at points. JT Miller just keeps getting it done, man. This guy's just absolute, absolute point machine. 2 out of 4 games against Nashville, but I mean, really, you're just looking at the. It's wild, man. This guy just always gets a point. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in the last 30 that he doesn't have a point. So minus 190, probably a pretty good price, actually. Believe it or not, I've laid more juice on plays that haven't hit at that rate. So you got a lot of guys that you could look at that have a point. I would just, if you're playing on guys to have a point, look at the matchup first. Who do you think is going to score goals? Like Gensel at minus 245. If you're a same game parlay better, I don't know if it gets much better for a parlay piece than Gensel. If you want to put him to have a point and then throw a team total or something else, I mean, this guy is just, 9 out of 10 games. So and he didn't have a point in the last game. I think he's going to go a couple games in a row without a point. I don't. So Gensel's probably a great parlay piece for that one. Okay, who's cold? So I laid off of DeBrusque last game to not have a point, and he had 3 points, so I was really glad. Here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, you look at DeBrusque, he's not getting a lot of points, so you would say, take him to not have a point. He always has a point against Toronto. He's like the Maple Leafs killer. Look at 3, 2, 2, 1, and 1. It's 5 games in a row with points, and 2, 4, 6, and 9 points in those. So DeBrusque was a good one on paper, but just because of his current form. But you look at the team that he's playing, and he always has a point. So DeBrusque was one that I couldn't get there on. Byfield, I believe, had a point in his last game against Edmonton. Yeah, he's another one. Always has a point against Edmonton. Why? I don't know. Because this is a guy that does not get very many points recently. But for whatever reason, matchup specific, he always gets a point against Edmonton. So Byfield did not make my card to not have a point. Connor McMichael, they've figured this one out that Washington is going to struggle to score. That guy's minus 220, not have a point. So you got some tough ones here in the market to not have a point. So you got to be ready to lay some juice, which you guys know I am fine with doing that. It's worked out very well this season. But those are some NHL props. I was also going to look at power play points. And I don't know. Well, probably not a lot going on in power play. I know Carmine and Joe Ranieri were talking about this one, playing them against the against or playing the Tampa Bay Lightning guys. I don't know if Kucherov got one in the last one, so you might look at that one. Uh, I mean, he's got a power play point and it's plus 105. It's not bad, pretty good. So he's got one the last 4 games against Florida when they're on the power play. So power play points, if you're looking for something kind of unique, that would be one that you could look at there. So. Like I said, guys, we're going to be props heavy this week. Maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, I'll look at doing an update on picks and the bankroll. Let's just say everything's going amazing. We're up 82 units in 2024. We did 91 units in 2023, and I was ecstatic. We're almost to our 2023 units, and it's April 22nd. So very, very happy about that one. Okay, let's start with Orlando and Cleveland. Not a lot going on in this one as far as like overs, just because it was a really tough defensive game. So when we got a defensive game, I know Donovan Mitchell had a really good game, but man, I worry about laying some of these big numbers on guys. So I was looking at some of these guys who looked pretty good in the first game. And I will start with Joe Ingles. They have his points, rebounds, and assists here at 6.5. This is a guy that's done well. He's done well against Cleveland. 7-15, 8-19, and 7 this year. So he's gone over in every single game on his points, rebounds, and assists. This is a guy played plenty of minutes. Veteran is not going to make a really dumb mistake. He doesn't look that athletic out there. But if you're going to play a decent amount of minutes, man, that's a guy I would like to have some action on just because his total's so low. So there was that one. I noticed something about Markelle Fultz. His rebounds and assists. He's gone over against Cleveland. He had 4 in his last game. And, this guy's gone over 7 out of 10 games. He did get some pretty decent minutes there. And you're getting even money on a guy that's gone over against Cleveland. He played okay in the first game. I don't see why he would get less minutes than that. So Markelle Fultz is somebody that I would look at. So when I'm seeing these games like Orlando and Cleveland, these just rock fights, I'm looking at the lower tier guys that aren't playing like 30 minutes. They're playing like 15 or 20. We hit Obi Toppin barely last night by doing that exact same thing. Guy that comes in, plays 13, 15 minutes, but the book set a really low number. Let's take a look at the Knicks and the 76ers. Again, I'm not really that interested in playing Joel Embiid overs. I did want to take a look at Tobias Harris. This is an interesting one. I'm taking a look at his points, rebounds, and assists. And he just doesn't go over against the New York Knicks. He just doesn't. 18-6, he did have a 25, and then 14-12. So he's played him 5 times. He's gone under in 4. And if I want to put this is with Joel Embiid in the lineup. He played all of these games with Joel Embiid, and he's not getting over. What's interesting, though, is he does go over against teams when Joel Embiid is in the lineup, but it's just not the Knicks. So look at the teams that he went over against when he was playing with Embiid. This is just the last 10. Miami, Orlando, right on that number. Detroit, Oklahoma City, Golden State, Charlotte, and Denver. But then we just add this filter about the Knicks, and he just doesn't go over against the Knicks. Don't know what it is. Defensive matchups or whatever, but Tobias Harris does not go over against Knicks. There was another one, Bogdanovich. This is another one that has to do with minutes. He played a good amount of minutes, and this is different because it sure looked like Tibbs did not trust Bogdanovich to play a lot in the regular season. But he played 25 minutes. At 25 minutes, and all I need is 13 points, rebounds, and assists. Yeah, the guy had 21 in the first game. He obliterated his entire category. 3.5. Yeah, this guy had 7 rebounds and 1 assist in there. If he's going to play, that many minutes, yeah, yeah, sign me up. And I think we're getting a really, really good discounted price here because he hasn't really been going over this total a whole lot. So I looked at the game log and I'm going 25 minutes and he only needs 13 and a half points, rebounds, and assists. So I think there's a couple ways you could attack Bogdanovich here. You could look at his rebounds and assists. I do like this 3.5 number. That's so low. I mean, you're out there 25 minutes. A few rebounds are just going to happen to fall right to you. So if I'm playing Bogdanovich, it's probably the 3.5 rebounds and assists. Let's see. I did notice the books already made the move on Joel Embiid. Well, right now I'm seeing 46.5. It was 44 earlier. If it's 46.5, I seriously may come back to him going under. This was something we talked about where it just doesn't look right, doesn't look that healthy. I mean, 43 and 43, he gets close, but they put this number so high, everything has to go right for him. And I think the Knicks are just going to keep bodying him up. And if he gets injured and has to come out, bang, we hit an easy under. So Joel Embiid under his points, rebounds, and assists could be a way to go looking at this game. So let's take a look at the Lakers in Denver. I went over Jamal Murray. The same kind of premise of the starters playing a lot of minutes hit home in the rebounds and assist category for Aaron Gordon. He's gone over this total. What's the rebounds and assists? Was it 10.5? Yeah, he had 18 in the last game. He was out there 32 minutes. He had, 11 and 7, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. And he's so valuable on defense for being able to be big enough and fast enough to kind of keep up with LeBron. Is he going to stop LeBron? Probably not stop, but slow down, make it hard for him. So he's going to be out there a lot. And again, you look at this number, he's actually been pretty good. 7 out of 10 games he's gone over, but this 18 last game is very eye-opening. And then when we look at what he's done against the Lakers this year, 11, 12, 14, and 18. My only hesitation is I went back and looked. He wasn't that good in this category in the series, in the playoff series last year, and I don't really know why that was. But maybe it's a different Gordon this year. I don't know. But he's been going over against Lakers. He's getting a ton of minutes. And, I mean, he went over this just with his rebounds last game. So he only needs a few assists, and it looks like he's going to be getting them. So it's the same theory with Jamal Murray. These starters are playing way more minutes now. So there was a 3-point that I was looking at Reggie Jackson. I mean, Reggie Jackson is just always good for one 3-pointer, it feels like. And he did hit it. He hit this against the Lakers last game. I mean, look, it's 9 out of 10 games. Against the Lakers, yeah, he's hit this one in 3 out of 4 games that he played. Here's my worry. His minutes went down. So he was only out there, 9 minutes? Now, when you only have to make one 3-pointer and we know he's going to shoot 2, maybe 3, yeah, we got a really good chance. But when I looked at his minutes, I'm going, he only played 9 minutes, and if the game is close, they're going to leave Jamal Murray and some of these other guys. And the bench players of Denver just did not play a lot. Now, if we happen to get a blowout and he plays a lot, then yes, we're going to hit this easily. So I don't know. I don't know if I would put this in a lazy line play where it's good to play every single night, but he did hit it. It's -148, so call it -150. I'm on the fence on this one just because of how many minutes that he played. 9 minutes. If he only plays 9 minutes again, he's only going to get 1 or 2 attempts. So we know he's not shy about shooting it, and he has done it against the Lakers. And I guess if you do have a blowout and the starters are sitting late in the fourth, he's going to probably hit one. So that's one to keep your eye on for the Lakers. We talked about D'Angelo Russell and his rebounds and assists. Just, it doesn't get there against Denver. He doesn't get there normally, again, when LeBron plays. I went over the stats. When LeBron plays, D'Angelo Russell averages 7 rebounds and assists. When LeBron doesn't play, I think he averages 13 or 14. It's crazy. But He is not getting there against Denver. This was a client play under 8.5 rebounds and assists. The guy played 41 minutes. He had 3 rebounds and 3 assists. So he is not putting up big numbers in this category, and I think I probably have to go back to it at least one more game. I mean, the under is minus 128. Pretty fair price on these. So D'Angelo Russell here. Let me do the with and without LeBron. So with LeBron, yeah, last 30 games 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So that means last 18 games with LeBron, 18 out of 30 has gone under. And then without LeBron, look at these numbers. When LeBron is not in the lineup, 18, 19, 15, 14, 26, 22. So if LeBron sits out a game in this series, which I would be stunned if he does, it's just D'Angelo Russell over rebounds and assists. It's absolutely insane. So, but again, against Denver, he just doesn't get there. Just doesn't get there. I mean, look at these last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 games. It's gone under in 6 of them when LeBron's there. So D'Angelo Russell under 8.5 rebounds and assists. My only worry is that he plays so many minutes that you would feel like he somehow gets to 9, but he just doesn't. So, and if it's a blowout and he sits, we're likely to cash that one. So, I think that's going to do it for props today. So, all access clients, just to get you guys ready. So, yesterday on Sunday was a lucky day that went in our favor. We had a weather delay that completely flipped the 5% play involving Matthew Fitzpatrick. That went from a loss to a win. And then we win the Xander Schauffele over Rory McIlroy. I decided to put in Obi Toppin over 4.5 rebounds and assists. He has no business getting over. He was terrible in that game, and yet somehow late garbage time he grabs 5 rebounds and goes over. So we are off of a ridiculously hot run. I think we're up like 27 units in the last week. And that's not going to continue if we keep doing our normal bets. However, we have a natural way to shake things up, and that is there is no golf bets this week, and there's no PFL bets this week. So I don't have to worry about putting those plays in. Props have been very, very good in NBA and NHL, so we're going to keep rolling with those. So just expect us to do a lot with those. I hit my one MLB play last week. So I believe we're now on a 6-1 run, and I'm going to keep to this where I only have one play every once in a while. There's nothing up that I like today or tomorrow. So the earliest I will have an MLB play up is Wednesday. So all access clients, just understand it's going to be a very different looking slate. Oh, we also don't have Formula One. So it's going to be a different looking slate this week. However, we immediately move from some of those other sports into higher volume with props. We're going to have probably 5 official client plays. So I encourage everyone to go grab that. If you have not joined, this is the last day to get 10 days for the price of 7. So you just buy a 7-day pass and you get 3 days added on. Going to be a lot of props this week. This week is going to be prop heavy. So if you like getting a lot of plays, this is going to be right up your alley. So we are up 82 units this year. Very, very happy with that. And we're looking for another big week. So that deal, there's no promo code needed. You can just go to my profile page, Andy Lang at WagerTalk.com. Final day for 10 days for the price of 7. It's just right there in the middle. So let's keep this moving, guys. Let's be smart with these props. I've been researching them hours and hours and hours, and they've been paying off. So very, very happy. I believe we're 28-12 in our last 40 plays in the NHL, and we've hit our last 3. I think we're 3-1 in NBA playoffs. So that's going to be it for today on the Road to Millions. Thanks, everyone, for joining. I'm going to try and do this every day this week. There's just too many props to not go over. But just be careful. You don't have to bet every single prop. Make sure you're looking and researching these as in-depth as possible. It's easy to just fire off on something, but make sure you're using all those layers and all those levels. What's the minutes like from postseason to regular season? Like, what's the usage rate? What's this series going to look like? Who's hurt? Who's injured? So keep all those in mind. That's going to do it for us. Good luck on all your plays, and I will see everyone tomorrow on the Road to Millions.